phones or electric devices. And we also ask that you remove any security badges that may be visible. There's going to be photography and videography of the event. We'll make sure our security badges are not there. Thank you. I think we got everybody ready. Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished and honored guests, friends, family members, and fellow guardsmen, on behalf of the Alabama National Guard and Governor Kay Ivey, the governor of the state of Alabama, we welcome you to our Joint Force headquarters and express our deep gratitude for all your efforts and the time in joining us for this occasion today. I'm Colonel Mike Taylor, and I have the privilege to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for this event. Today is a day of celebration, a celebration for the Alabama National Guard, the state of Alabama, and for both the Gordon and the Pritchett families. Today will not only mark the official transition of command authority for our organization, but we will collectively bid a bittersweet farewell and celebrate the culmination of a distinguished 44-year career in public service to one of our most passionate and steadfast Guard families, and our outgoing Adjutant General, Major General Sherrill, and Mr. Dave Gordon. We also take this opportunity to welcome home Brigadier General David and Ms. Julie Pritchett to the Alabama National Guard family, and as well to serve as a member of the Governor Ivey's cabinet. In just a moment, I'll ask you to all please rise in recognition of the official party as they enter the stage and are accompanied by a 19-volley cannon salute by the Alabama Army National Guard's 117th Field Artillery Battery, the presentation of the colors by a joint color guard of the Alabama Army and Air National Guard, a joint duet rendition of the national anthem by Alabama Army and Air National Guardsmen, Sergeant First Class Robert Lockery and Master Sergeant Adrian Barron, and the invocational prayer, which will be delivered by Alabama Air National Guard Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Darrell Hammaker. The official party for today's ceremony will be comprised of the Honorable Kay Ivey, Governor of the state of Alabama, Major General Sherrill Gordon, the Adjutant General for the Alabama National Guard outgoing, Brigadier General David Pritchett, Adjutant General of the Alabama National Guard incoming, and Command Chief Master Sergeant David Bullard, the Command Senior Enlisted Leader for the Alabama National Guard. All of the music provided today's ceremony will be courtesy of the Alabama Army National Guard's 151st Army Band, and our closing benediction will be delivered by the Alabama Army National Guard State Chaplain, Colonel Wiley Collins. To all of these aforementioned participants and supporters, we say a heartfelt thank you for bringing this event together today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please rise. Colors, post.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. Up. Detail. Post.
Join with me as we pray. Almighty God, you tell us there's an appointed time for everything, and that there's a time for every matter under heaven, and such is the change of command. I give you thanks for leaders who stand for righteousness, lead mission, motivate us in our work, and promote freedom in the world. Through this long-held tradition, we celebrate integrity, courage, and sacrifice. I humbly ask your blessings upon these two individuals today who pass between them the guidon of command. And as it passes, let your strengthening arm attend them both. For it's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Hammaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our hostess and officiant for this afternoon is the Honorable Kay Ivey, the Governor of the state of Alabama. Ma'am, collectively, we thank you for your leadership, direction, and most importantly, your unwavering support for the service members, families, and civilian employees of the Alabama National Guard. Thank you for being here today to make this event special. As we mark the changing of command of the Alabama National Guard from Major General Cheryl Gordon to Brigadier General David Pritchett, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished guests, service members, civilians, family, and friends attending in both in person and abroad via our social media live feeds. At this time, we're particularly pleased and proud to extend a special welcome to Major General Gordon's family who are present today. As I introduce the families, would you please hold your applause till all the family members have been recognized. From General Gordon's family, we'd like to welcome her husband, Mr. Dave Gordon, her mother, Ms. Charlotte Speed, her brother and sister-in-law, Brigadier General retired Frank and Susan Speed, her sister-in-law, Julie Gordon, her brother-in-law, Bill Gordon, her son and daughter-in-law, Kenneth and Elizabeth Gordon. Thank you for being with us today. From General Pritchett's family, we'd like to welcome his wife, Julie Pritchett, his daughter, Anna Chris Pritchett, his mother, Charlene Pritchett, his sister and brother-in-law, Kathy and Frankie Graham, his brother and sister-in-law, Scotty and Rebecca Parvin, his niece and nephews, Maggie, John Tyler, and George, and his aunt, Ms. Nancy Edwards. Thank you also for being with us today. To the family members who are present today or viewing on live stream, on behalf of Governor Ivey and the Alabama National Guard Senior Executive Leadership Team, thank you for your enduring support for your service member. A military career forces its volunteers to draw multiple hats: those of a soldier and airman, a commander, a subordinate, a spouse, an employee, a mother, a father, a friend, son, daughter, etc. These careers and assignments require an endless amount of self-sacrifice, determination, and commitment to others. To our supporting family members, we ask, albeit sometimes silently, for patience and grace. These careers represent a total family commitment, and a commitment that only a family member can truly understand. Both General Gordon and General Pritchett have been blessed with incredible careers and achievements, ascending to the highest levels of success within the state National Guard construct. Those successes are a direct reflection of your love, support, flexibility, and continuous understanding. We, as representatives of the Alabama National Guard, the National Guard, and the United States Army and Air Force, say thank you for those sustained and continuous efforts. At this time, we would also be remiss if we did not take the opportunity to recognize our additional distinguished guests who are present today. We are honored to have several with us, and so I ask you, if you would, to please hold your applause until all of them have been introduced, and we will welcome them collectively. From the National Guard Bureau, we welcome Lieutenant General John Jensen, the Director of the Army National Guard, Major General Sean Satterfield, Brigadier General Kendrick Taylor and his wife, Keita, Command Sergeant Major John Raines. From our international state partner, Romania, we're proud to have Lieutenant General Corneliu Postiu, Director of the Romanian Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Dragos Jacob, Commanding General, Multinational Corps Southeast, Brigadier General Florin Tomiuk, Romanian Defense Attaché to the United States, Colonel Dan Ardilano, the Chief of Staff of the Multinational Corps Southeast, Colonel Teodor Spanu, Head of the Romanian Seaburn Coordination Service, Captain Julian Ungrero, Romanian Liaison Officer to the Office of Defense Cooperation, and Captain Lorena Nitsi, Romanian Liaison Officer to the Office of Defense Cooperation. Thank you all for being here with us today. From the state of Alabama Congressional Delegation, we're honored to have Congressman Gary Palmer, representative of the 6th Congressional District, Mr. Brian Neuer and Ms. Cindy Pate from Senator Tommy Tuberville's office, Mrs. Dana McCain and Susanna Cleveland from Senator Katie Britt's office, Mr. James Manasco from Representative Robert Adderholt's office, and Ms. Melinda Williams from Representative Terry Sewell's office. From the Alabama State House, we welcome State Senator Donnie Chasteen, House Representative Philip Insler, House Representative Jeremy Gray, House Representative Francis Holt Jones, House Representative Joe Lovern, House Representative Parker Moore, House Representative Jerry Starnes, House Representative Rex Reynolds, House Representative Ed Oliver, House Representative Marcus Paramore, and House Representative Kenneth Pascal. From the state of Alabama, we welcome the Honorable Wes Allen, Secretary of State of the state of Alabama, Jeff Smitherman, the Director of the Alabama Emergency Management Agency, Commissioner Nancy Buckner, the Department of Human Resources, Commissioner Mark Fowler, Department of Insurance, and Commissioner Gene Brown, Department of Senior Services. Our current serving senior leaders are Major General Jansen Boyles, the Adjutant General, Mississippi National Guard, Major General Gregory Porter, the Adjutant General, Wyoming National Guard, Major General Roger Presley, Deputy Adjutant General, Alabama National Guard, and his wife Jennifer, Major General Lee Ellis, Special Assistant to the Director of the Army National Guard, and his wife Nan, Brigadier General Promotable Thomas Vickers, Commanding General, 167th Theater Sustainment Command, and his wife Joy, Brigadier General Terry Grisham, Deputy Commanding General, 167th Theater Sustainment Command, and his wife Carla, Brigadier General Michael Evans, Commanding General, 135th ESC, Brigadier General Ed Casey, Chief of Staff, Alabama Air National Guard, Brigadier General Tara McKinney, Assistant Adjutant General, Alabama Air National Guard, Brigadier General Jeff Smith, Director of the Joint Staff, Alabama National Guard, and his wife BJ, Brigadier General Michael Izzo, Assistant Adjutant General, Alabama Army National Guard, and his wife, Tasha. Brigadier General Dale Murray, Assistant Division Commander, for Support, 29th Infantry Division. Brigadier General Joe Hargett, Director of the Joint Staff, Mississippi National Guard. Brigadier General Rich Holy, Deputy Commanding General, 263rd Army Air and Missile Defense Command. Chief Warrant Officer 5, James Jolly, the Command Chief Warrant Officer of the Alabama National Guard, and his wife, Angie. And Command Chief Master Sergeant David Bullard, the Command Senior Enlisted Leader, Alabama National Guard, and his wife, Mary. From our retired senior ranks, we are proud to welcome Major General Retired Perry Smith and his wife, Ann. Major General Retired Sylvester Cannon and his wife, Valerie. Major General Retired Lynn Gable and his wife, Kim. Major General Retired Jerry Martin and his wife, Donna. Major General Retired Troy Galloway. Major General Retired Gerald Dial. Brigadier General Retired Wendell McLean and his wife, Judy. Brigadier General Retired Paul Majerick and his wife, Marie. Brigadier General Retired J.R. Bass and his wife, Cindy. Brigadier General Retired Keith Clemmer and his wife, Sandra. Brigadier General Retired Stephen Melton, and Brigadier General Retired Danny Spigner. To our other general officers, international partners, distinguished guests, commanders, senior enlisted advisors, friends, family, colleagues, and fellow guardsmen, thank you all for taking the time to join us today. You're welcome. Today we celebrate the changing of command of the Alabama National Guard with the ceremonial passing of the colors from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander. The presiding official for today's ceremony is the Commander-in-Chief of the Alabama National Guard. As such, it is my distinct honor and high privilege to introduce to you the 54th Governor of the great state of Alabama and our Commander-in-Chief, the Honorable Kay Ivey.
Thank you, Colonel Taylor, for that introduction. Y'all, it's a great honor for me to be here today at headquarters for this official ceremony signifying the passing of the baton of leadership of Alabama's Army and Air National Guard forces. First and foremost, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the 12,000 men and women and their supportive families who serve as protectors and defenders of our great state. Let there be no mistake. You form an integral part of the United States military's mission readiness. Through your hard work and dedication, Alabama plays a critical role as a vital team member in securing this country's defense. And as governor, I constantly rely upon each of you to be ready in time needed here at home to safeguard and protect our communities and abroad. Today, we celebrate the service of Major General Cheryl Gordon, while we also warmly welcome Brigadier General David Pritchett back to his home state to officially assume command of the Alabama National Guard. This ceremony is both a proud moment for the families of General Gordon and General Pritchett and a renewal of an equally proud tradition for the Alabama National Guard. General Gordon has served Alabama and America with great distinction. She not only answered her country's call with over 4 decades of faithful service, but she also expertly advanced the role of female service members to the highest ranks of Alabama's military. General Gordon, I was proud to nominate you more than 6 years ago, and today I'm even more proud of your stellar record as Adjutant General in preparing and supporting Alabama's soldiers and airmen. As I have previously noted, and as General Gordon has resolutely demonstrated, sometimes the best man for the job is a woman. job well done. Today, we begin a new chapter in Alabama National Guard leadership. I'm equally honored to welcome Brigadier General David Pritchett back to Alabama to take the reins of this great command. General Pritchett's 35-year service record is impeccable. As a United States Marine and a veteran Army Guard Field Artillery officer, he comes home abundantly prepared to lead the Alabama National Guard. His record of leadership abundantly personifies the motto of the United States Army Field Artillery School that skill is better than luck. Indeed, for decades, General Pritchett has successfully commanded at the battery, battalion, and brigade level. Much of that service spans more than a dozen assignments here in Alabama. His many deployments, including Operation Iraqi Freedom, Hurricanes Opal, Ivan, and Katrina, and the Deepwater Horizon disaster. All of these reflect his diverse experience in times of combat and natural disaster. He comes to us from his dual role as director of the Joint Staff of the Wyoming National Guard and as Deputy Commanding General Army National Guard for Field Artillery to the Fire Center for Excellence at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Above all, General Pritchett, you are the best qualified to lead the Alabama National Guard, and I am grateful for your acceptance of my appointment. And it should unhurt that you're also an Auburn graduate. In closing, I want to officially welcome Julie Pritchett, the General's wife and family, back to Sweet Home, Alabama. Congratulations, General Pritchett. I look forward to making your new assignment official in just a few moments. May God continue to bless each of you and the great state of Alabama.
Thank you, Governor. We certainly appreciate those very, very good remarks. Thank you for being with us today. At this time, I'd ask Major General Gordon and Brigadier General Pritchett, if they would, to please join Governor Ivey at center stage. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please rise. Attention to orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America has awarded the Distinguished Service Medal to Major General Cheryl Gordon for the exceptionally meritorious service as the Alabama National Guard's Adjutant General. General Gordon defined her role as one of the most consequential uniformed leaders in the history of the Alabama National Guard. Her strategic vision, command presence, and unwavering commitment to the Army values guided the Alabama National Guard during a sustained period of war, fierce global competition, a debilitating global pandemic, periods of civil unrest, and during a time when the building and the emphasis of local, state, national, and international partnerships were paramount to the sustained peace and stability. General Gordon created a legacy of lasting partnerships and a combat-ready joint force prepared to engage in large-scale combat operations against near-peer threats while responding to domestic events at the state and national level. These actions culminated a 44-year career of distinguished service and reflect great credit upon herself, the state of Alabama, the Alabama National Guard, the United States Army and Air Force, and the Department of Defense. Congratulations, General Gordon. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Dave Gordon, if you would, to join us on stage, please, sir. Attention to orders. By order of the Governor of the State of Alabama, the Honorable Kay Ivey, Mr. Dave Gordon is awarded the state's Alabama Distinguished Service Medal for his faithful and dedicated service as an Alabama National Guard military spouse. His citation reads as follows: David Gordon is honored with this award for his unwavering support, resilience, and selfless commitment to the Alabama National Guard. Throughout his wife's career, he has exemplified strength and dedication, creating a foundation of stability for her and fellow military families. As a retired lieutenant colonel in the Alabama National Guard, Mr. Gordon embodies the spirit of sacrifice, service, and unity that also defines an outstanding military spouse. And this is signed by the Honorable Kay Ivey, Governor, Commander-in-Chief, Alabama National Guard, and Brigadier General David K. Pritchett, the Adjutant General, Alabama National Guard. Congratulations, Mr. Gordon, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, you can please be seated. Command Chief Bullard, would you please take your position to facilitate the official passing of the colors and the transition of authority? The positioning of the unit colors at the center of formations represent their presence at the forefront of the unit during the heat of battle. As the modern regimental system was developed, units were assigned a specific color or number to delineate their arrangement and positions on the battlefield. They acted not only as a point of recognition for both leaders and onlookers, but as the primary rallying point for the troops under their stead, and to mark the location of the commander on the battlefield, often in the front line. The act of passing the colors symbolizes the transfer of command authority and responsibility from Major General Gordon to Brigadier General Pritchett. It is one of the oldest traditions of the profession of arms. The passing of the command colors from Command Chief Master Sergeant David Bullard to Major General Gordon signifies the role of the non-commissioned officer as the guardian and protector of the colors and the men and women who serve to preserve its glory. The passing of the colors from Major General Gordon, the outgoing commander, to Governor Ivey signifies the relinquishing of command and heartfelt gratitude for the support, guidance, and the opportunity to serve. The passing of the colors from Governor Ivey to Brigadier General Pritchett, the incoming commander, represents the trust and confidence in General Pritchett's leadership and commitment to care for the organization, thereby passing the responsibility and authority of command to him. The passing of the colors back to Command Chief Master Sergeant Bullard is the first act of his command and verifies his confidence that the non-commissioned officer corps will continue to protect and guard the colors. By authority of the Governor of the State of Alabama, the Honorable Kay Ivey, and Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5 Delta, Brigadier General David K. Pritchett assumes command of the Alabama National Guard effective 1 January 2024. Welcome, sir. Governor Ivey, General Gordon, General Pritchett, and Chief Bullard, you may now return to your seats. Thank you. At this time, both General Gordon and General Pritchett would like to recognize their spouses for their years of commitment and dedicated service. Currently, the soldiers of HHD JFHQ are presenting Mr. Gordon on General Gordon's behalf with a red boutonniere. They are also presenting her mother with a bouquet of roses, which represents the love and support they have shown for the soldiers and the families of the Alabama National Guard. We sincerely thank you, sir and ma'am. Thank y'all. soldiers are now presenting Ms. Pritchett with a bouquet of yellow flowers. The yellow flowers signify the rekindling of her relationship with the soldiers and families of the Alabama National Guard, a relationship that will blossom and grow in months and years ahead. Welcome home, ma'am. At this time, I'd like to invite Major General Bowles to come forward for a special presentation from the great state of Mississippi. General Gordon, would you please join General Bowles at center stage?
I have with me today the former commander of Camp Shelby, Bobby Ginn, currently serving as G4 for Mississippi. I also have with me Deputy G4 Jay Johnson. Our relationship with Alabama is a long storied relationship, Mississippi and Alabama. It goes back to the 167th COSCOM, now the 167th TSC. I could throw a number of long-term relationships that we've had together. We're a big logistics state. We do a lot with the 31st Brigade over at Camp Shelby, Mississippi. Our training, we train together. And so I thought it appropriate that we should honor our neighbor, TAG, with an award, a Mississippi award, that represents this relationship, but not only that, Cheryl, but our relationship together as TAGs. Thank you so much for your service. I have an award to give you, but I also have a gift to give you also. So with the award first, Jay, would you present the award to her, and I'll hold the bag. So, Cheryl, thank you for that is the Mississippi Magnolia Medal, which is the highest honor that we give to any Mississippi soldier or any other soldier that serves in the National Guard. So, Cheryl, thank you so much for your service. Thank you. Not only is the tag relationship important, but the spouse relationship is important also. And I will tell you that Dave has been an important part of our relationship as tags also, Shirley, and you know that. I will tell you that my wife, Robin, and I went to Mississippi State, and my wife went to Ole Miss. And I think you've got the similar situation in your family, Cheryl, is that right? You're an Alabama fan, and Dave, you're an Auburn fan. So I thought of many appropriate gifts for you, but I thought the most appropriate gift I could give you is something that represents that competitive relationship we have in our marriages. But I will tell you, Dave and Robin, my wife, whenever there was a plan for all the spouses, and Julie, I'll tell you that, be prepared, they never followed the plan. They were always the instigators and added a lot of, I guess, frustration to the planners of the organization. So Dave, thank you also for all you did for the spouses of the group. But Cheryl, for you, I have something I want to give you, and I will just simply say that whenever Auburn plays Mississippi State, you are welcome to ring this. It says to Cheryl Gordon, Adjutant General of Alabama, presented January 5th, 2024.
Thank you, sir. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Major General Cheryl Gordon for her remarks. Ma'am.
Good afternoon. I want to thank everyone for being here on this special day. I know that I have been truly blessed throughout my life, more than I deserve. I thank God for the goodness that He has given me. It has been my goal to be a servant leader in this organization and inspire others to be the same. Obviously, this is not my first change of command ceremony. Several years ago, when I was preparing to hand the flag of the 200th Regiment over to Colonel Chuck Keith, I was concerned that I would cry at some point during the ceremony. And I was still assistant principal at Benjamin Russell High School, and the JROTC instructor informed me that colonels do not cry. And I said, oh yeah, this colonel cries. And fast forward to today, and I will tell you that the colonel who cried then is the general who may cry today. Now, many of you have heard me say the Guard is family. For almost my entire life, the Alabama National Guard has been my family. Between my father's service, my brothers, my husband's, my father-in-law, and my own, this organization has been an ever-present part in my life. I want to thank the soldiers, airmen, and civilians of the Alabama National Guard for making this family such a blessing of which to be a part. Like every family, we have endured ups and downs, but we have stood by one another with every down and celebrated with each other in every up. You, the soldiers and airmen, are what has made this journey so meaningful. Brigadier Pritchett and I may stand up here wearing the stars, but the troops I have served alongside of this family are the true stars in this family. You have made it everything that it is, and you have my deepest thanks. Governor Ivey, thank you for being here today, and thank you for entrusting me with the leadership of this organization. Your support throughout the years has been immeasurable and unwavering. We appreciate everything that you have done to make Alabama the most military-friendly state in the country. And in doing so, you have just demonstrated that, as we all know, there is no step too high for a high stepper. To my Romanian partners, those who are here today and those who could not make it. Our partnership began 30 years ago, and during that time, you have become a member of NATO, the European Union, and emerged as a leader in Eastern Europe. I am proud of the lessons we learned from you and with you. Both of us are better due to this partnership, and I know the cooperation will continue to expand. You welcomed me, made me a part of your family, and I know you will do the same for Brigadier General Pritchett. To the families of the soldiers and airmen who make up this great organization, you are the force behind the force, beneath the force, and beside the force. You prop us up to do what we do when we are called to do it. There are not enough words to express the gratitude to my personal family. My mother has always made sure that everyone in our family stayed grounded. Each time my father, my brother, or I got a promotion, Mother got a promotion also. So today, if you ask her, she will tell you quite candidly, I am a 3-star general. When she gives me my marching orders, I salute smartly, yes ma'am, and I head out. My brother's sage advice is always, don't embarrass the family. I may have already violated that one. And my husband Dave has made all of this possible for me to achieve. His steadfast in his support of me, whether he is in the role of SOTAG, which is spouse of tag, to which General Bulls alluded, just hanging out with the girls, or being my arm candy at all the functions I attended. But most of all, he's just Dave, and he's the love of my life. It has been a privilege to serve the people of Alabama. They believe in the hard and necessary work we are called to do, and they believe in the honorable men and women who do it. So thank you. There is no place I would have rather spent this career, and no people I would have rather served than those of the great state of Alabama. I can't take credit for all the victories this Guard family has experienced over the last several years. You know the big headline grabbers that we've accomplished, standing up new units, fielding new equipment, completing successful deployments, and accomplishing major missions. We all know about the F-35s at Danley Field. I am so proud and honored to have had a hand in the successful outcome of that endeavor, and I am going to turn the rest of it over to you, General Pritchett. You are inheriting the very best. I'm also glad to know that you will be inheriting a team that so strongly brought us through to the other side of the COVID crisis. But no one in this National Guard could have handled the unprecedented series of curveballs the past few years have thrown. These people who served on the COVID crisis immediately integrated with multiple state agencies, taking command of units, civilian partners, and Title X service members. They adapted to every change in policy and work status. They stood up teams to work in hospitals, nursing homes, rural community centers, and anywhere we were needed. Each and every one made me indescribably proud. I hope and pray we never see another situation like that, but no matter what the challenges lie ahead, I know that these guardsmen will make you proud time and time again. You're also coming into the most unified team the state has ever known and one of the most joint operational environments in the National Guard. We stood up our new joint directorate to bring the resources from the Army and Air and merge them into unified efforts to support the people and missions of this organization. It has been a thrill to explore the possibilities of operating as one organization with wide-ranging capabilities, and I'm excited to watch how the green and blue continue to come together for a purple future. Finally, on a personal note, I would like to point out that you're inheriting something I never did, a clean desk. Every command I ever took came with full filing cabinets and desk drawers. You're walking into a clean slate with an incredible support team. Now, you'll have to deal with more than a few colorful characters on that team. If you get your DJS and Army Chief and the staff in the same room, you're going to have to stay on your toes. And then if you let your XO and C-Cell in there, also known as the Spice Boys, well, just good luck. Keep a thick skin and a quick wit. To the airmen, soldiers, civilians of the Alabama National Guard, I ask you to continue to serve with the same measure of professionalism and honor that has made you successful. Continue to set the standard for the quality of your work and show the world what it means to be servant leaders. Continue to grow the positive trends we are on today and treat everyone with respect and as a valued member of the organization. Thank you for who you are and what you do, all of you. Governor Ivey, thank you for the opportunity to be part of this family. It has been an honor and a privilege. And General Pritchett, take care of our family. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you very much, General Gordon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great pleasure and high honor to introduce for the first time Brigadier General David Pritchett, the Adjutant General of the Alabama National Guard. Sir.
What a beautiful day in Alabama. Governor Ivey, Lieutenant General Jensen, our Romanian delegation. By the way, they told me earlier in our office call, it's okay if men cry. We're going to try not to do that, though. All of our distinguished guests, and especially the soldiers, airmen, and our civilians of the Alabama Guard, thank you for being here. First, as noted earlier, we are excited to be back home to Sweet Home, Alabama. Governor Ivey, thank you for the opportunity to come back home and serve in your administration and lead the great men and women of the Alabama National Guard. We are honored and humbled at the selection, and we look forward to serving as part of your cabinet. I'd also like to thank Major General Gordon for her support through the years. First when I was a battalion commander, later as a brigade commander, and you even released me to let me go serve at Fort Sill. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve with you, and I promise to keep moving this organization forward. Thank you for your 44 plus years of service to the state and country, ma'am. Major General Porter, now my former boss and the tag of the great state of Wyoming and the Cowboy Guard. Sir, I've learned so much from you, serving and watching you over the past 2.5 years. I also acknowledge I would not be here or have had this opportunity had you not taken a chance on this Alabama boy when you hired me as your director of the Joint Staff. I know Major General retired Gus Hargett, a former tag of Tennessee, when he reached out to me recently, sir, and I told you this, he gave me some friendly advice, and he just said simply, just be like Greg Porter. I think it's pretty good advice. And for the rest of the Cowboy Guard team here, our Cecil, Chief Master Sergeant Moore, I'm gonna miss all those problem-solving sessions in the morning, Chief. We'd listen to our podcast before we came to work, and we'd solve all the world problems as soon as we got to work. So my best to you, Chief, and to your family. Let's stay in touch because he has taught me so much about the Air National Guard. Major Johnson, where you at? Back there? All right, listen, I've been fortunate to have served with two of the best XOs in the tag suite over my tenure there, and both you and Major Morey, y'all are the future of the Wyoming National Guard. Thanks for all the hard work that you do behind the scenes that make our office run smoother. There's a long list of mentors that I've had through the years, and I'd be remiss if I didn't take a few minutes to thank them. So I'm trying to stick to the protocol of the outgoing guy who doesn't get as much time. I'm not sure I can do it. But at the Army National Guard level, we're spending a lot of time these days talking about division alignment and how we can align our divisions through multiple states so that they work better and train better together. And I would say we need only to look back to two of my brigade commanders who happen to be here, the 142nd Fab commanders, both Major General retired, now Galloway, Brigadier General Clemmer retired, and what they did for us. They were 142nd Fab commanders, as I mentioned, in the Arkansas National Guard, but they treated their Tennessee battalion and their Alabama battalion just like they were their own. They had us in their yearly training briefs. They came to our events, and they just, as I said, they treated us just like we were part of the Arkansas National Guard. So I know Brenda and Sandra are here too, and I thank y'all ladies for being here. Y'all have been great models for our serving spouses, and I wish y'all the best of luck. And for my South Carolina battle buddy, Brigadier General Holy, who serves as the Air Defense DCG, my counterpart at Fort Sill, and is dual hatted as a 263rd AAMDC, and will be the next commanding general likely of the 263rd. I appreciate everything that you've done and are doing to modernize the air defense community for our active and National Guard services. And for the Fort Sill team that traveled here today, Colonel Calderon, Lieutenant Colonel Ponder, Lieutenant Colonel Kim, thanks for all you and the Army National Guard team has done and are doing to move our field artillery and our air defense formations forward as we build the Army of 2030 and design the Army of 2040. And for retired Command Sergeant Major Cantrell, I haven't seen him. I'm not sure if he was here. Again, just welcomed us. He's also the former State Command Sergeant Major for New Mexico. Robbie, thanks for all you and Laura did to welcome us when we arrived at Fort Sill 5.5 years ago. You're a great battle buddy, and we appreciate you. Now, I know Joe Huss and Charles Rawls are out there too. And I don't know who made the decision to put Joe Huss and Charles Rawls and myself in B Battery 3rd to 117th a few years ago, but it was, boy, it was a team. So Joe shows up with the patch you're wearing there, sir, from the Cowboy Guard, and he immediately took on the name Cowboy. And we had to get him a Cotton Bowl patch. But Charles, because he's an avid duck hunter and still is, became Duck Man, and then somehow I took on the name Spider-Man. Now, allegedly, there was for scaling the sides of armory walls and balconies of hotels, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. But anyway, little did I know again that Joe Huss and I would serve together again after he left Alabama in the Cowboy Guard. So, Joe, thanks for making the trip. Wally, where's my driver? Wally, where you at? Wally was one of my drivers when I was at XO for the 3rd and 117th. And if you've never seen a Humvee buried up to the axles in sand on Dauphin Island, I have a picture I'll show you at the reception. But what Wally may have lacked in navigational skills and driving abilities, he made up for it in his people skills, because I swear he knows half of Alabama. So, Wally, thanks for helping me out in many things, and I learned a lot, and learned a lot from you during Katrina on our deployment down there. So thanks for being here, and go Trojans. Major General Gable, I'm going to rattle off a lot of names here, but there's so many guys from the past, particularly the Field Artillery. Major General Gable, Major General Smith, former TAG, Command Sergeant Major Youngblood, I know he's not able to be here. Command Sergeant Major Snyder, Command Sergeant Major Bailey, my battle buddy from our deployment in 06-07, Lieutenant Colonel Thielacker, Sergeant Major Richburg, Chief Moats, Chief Spratland, Sergeant First Class Dunn, Sergeant First Class Daniels, just great mentors that God put in my life to help me become a better soldier. They saw something in a young, cocky Field Artillery officer and mentored me along the way to help me become the servant leader that I am. And so thanks for helping me be all I can be. Major General Cannon, I think you're out there somewhere. I've told this story to some before. So Major General Cannon calls me into his office when he was my brigade commander, and basically throws a memo at me where I had declined to go to War College because I didn't have time. He said, I think you need to reconsider. Obviously, had I not gone to War College, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you, General Cannon, for being a great mentor. And for the top guys, so I'm going to have to explain this one. So there's a significant number of my fraternity brothers that showed up here today. And this group of guys, roughly 40 guys who stay very close and stay in touch, remain close through the years. And I'm going to include the former Mayor Bill Ham in this too, because he was a Pike too. Dr. John Weedy, I think, Dr. Weedy, you just showed up because you didn't ever believe I'd graduate from Auburn. But anyway, Representative Joe Lovern was, one of our fraternity brothers as well. And the thing that's amazing about this group of men is they lift each other up in the good times and the bad times. They celebrate the life lessons. And I appreciate the guys that showed up at my dad's funeral earlier last year when he passed, unannounced. And just let know Jimmy Morton, we're continuing to pray for him in the passing of his father last week. Brigadier General Steve Melton retired, the best C-130 pilot in the country. And I tell you, Steve, if you'd have stayed in, you'd have been the TAG of Georgia, I'm convinced of that. But I'd say you did the right thing, retiring to spend more time with your family. Appreciate you, brother, for being here. Several of our close friends and family and former neighbors, Tom and Jackie Shaver, made the trip from Kansas City, my former boss, but more importantly, just a great friend. They hired me, I think I was we debated this last night, I was their 4th or 5th employee that they hired back in 1999. A small niche higher education company that's grown up to do amazing work for our institutions of higher learning, just helping them run more efficiently. Tom, you heard me say this before, but it's true. God put 2 people in my life at the right time. You and my wife. And for our former neighbors, the Cornetts, we raised our families together, and I always will cherish our friendship, and especially the impact you had in Clay's life. The Rollings, Melissa and David, again, former neighbors from Auburn. David's the best tour guide in the country, and I think we're both going to have to look for somewhere to stay, sir, when we come to Frontier Days this next summer, because we've made it a tradition of spending Frontier Days with the Rollings. So. And finally, for my family, it's been a crazy 5.5, almost 6 years as we sold our forever home, and I've learned never say you're building your forever home. We sold our forever home in Auburn and went on this little crazy adventure that took us to Fort Sill and then to Cheyenne. Thanks for putting up with all the inconveniences that I caused through our moves For Team Parvin, Scotty, Rebecca, George, JT, and Maggie, we love y'all and we're glad to be home and we're ready to come visit y'all at the beach. For my sister, Kathy, and her husband, Frankie, thanks for all the support you're offered, and especially the support from Mom and Dad since we've been so far away, and I know it was a tough year for all of us. And for my mom, I know it was a tough year losing Dad, but I know he's smiling from above right now, so I'm grateful for the opportunity that you afforded us and just the great foundation you provided for us growing up. For Anna Chris, my youngest, for your resilience as we drug you across the country through multiple high schools, multiple cities, different friends. You're better for it, and you'll know that one day. And for Clay, who couldn't be here today, and Caitlin, who's home with COVID, we're just happy to be home and love and excited to be able to spend more time with our grandchildren. And for Julie, my CHO, Chief Household Officer. Yes, and I acknowledge you're a +1. So similar to the 3-star general here, I guess she's a 2-star now. And maybe one day we'll be a 3-star. But so I acknowledge you're +1 on the rank, but I'll keep this short and sweet because you're the rock of our family, and you always have been. The Alabama National Guard is truly getting a force multiplier with you. Thanks for all you've done to continue to keep our family strong, and I can't wait to see the great things you're going to do for the Alabama National Guard families. All right, so in keeping with protocol, which I've already broken that, let me just leave you with a couple of thoughts. We live arguably in the most troubling times, and I would say since World War II. When the rules-based system was established after World War II, that system is constantly under attack now. We face challenges most daily from our pacing threat, China, and our acute threat, Russia. With the growing instability in the Middle East and around the world, we owe it to our soldiers and our airmen and their families to make sure they're taken care of. We must ensure that our formations are modernized, equipped, and trained to be successful when called up, whether that's here for the domestic front or whether that's to deploy and fight and win our nation wars overseas. I will continue to move this organization forward, ma'am, and it will be a standards-based organization. I will lead from the front. We've done remarkably well in recruiting, but we can't let our foot off the gas. And General Jensen, you can help us with some force structure, because if we're going to keep recruiting and recruit over 100%, we've got to have somewhere to put those soldiers. Again, I'm deeply honored and humbled to serve as your Adjutant General, and I look forward to getting out and meeting the great men and women of the Army and the Air National Guard. Thank you again, Governor Ivany. Ma'am, best of luck to you, and thanks for all your leadership. Be all you can be, aim high, people first, ride for the brand. It shall be done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies, if you remain standing, please, we'll be led our invocation by Colonel Wiley Collins. He is the Alabama Air National Guard State Chaplain. And when she does that, after the invocation, we'll have the Army and Air Force songs played by the 151st Army Band. Chaplain Collins.
I'd like to invite you to pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for blessing the ceremonies today. We pray that all that was done and said was to your glory. We pray your blessings and protection on the United States of America, Romania, and on the state of Alabama. We ask now that you'd bless our food and fellowship together, and I pray this prayer in the name of Christ. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude today's ceremony. At this time, we'd like to invite the Gordon and Pritchett families, as soon as we conclude, to come forward on the stage to have pictures with Governor Ivey. Immediately concluding the pictures, General Gordon and General Pritchett will host a reception in the rear of the atrium for all the guests of today's ceremony. General Gordon and General Pritchett will receive guests immediately following the photographs directly in front of the stage. Please join us as we welcome the Pritchett family and say thank you to the Gordons for their decades of selfless service. Have a great National Guard Day.